today's Front and Center with the AACFB, we have.
Ishmael McGhee with
Oh,
Equitable Commercial Lending Group.
nice to meet you, Ishmael. I've been eager to talk with you ever since I knew you were going to be on the episodes. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah, you're welcome. Happy to be here.
Good deal. So you're the managing director at Equitable Commercial Lending Group. Tell me a little bit about that and what you do there.
Sure. We're a little bit over 5 years in the broker industry. We're equipment finance, mostly brokerage firm, but we can handle some commercial real estate as well as working capital, but we primarily focus in on the equipment side. Um, yeah,
Okay, and what do you do there? Are you a part of heading the broker division? Are you in sales? Are you the owner? What do you do there?
sure. I'm the owner of a team of one. And
Nice.
so I got my hands in pretty much everything that's associated with the business. Allows me obviously the speed and ease of making decisions to to do what I need to do to get deals done, as well as to change the direction and trajectory of the company as well.
Absolutely. I was when I first got into equipment finance and then started my own company, it was a team of one for oh so long, a very long
Yeah,
time. And it was so much more simple and streamlined. And there's a lot of value to that. Like you said, being able to pivot when you need to and make decisions when you need to without having to update multiple people or ask permission or whatever. So high five
right.
on that, man. I'm right there with you. So how did you get into that? You started your own business and you're a team of one, but what made you even do that?
Well, I was sick of corporate America.
Mm.
Well, yeah, my background is in commercial banking, and in particular, treasury operations. So, I, probably post 2008 with the financial crisis, I worked for a smaller community bank, and um, the world of banking since that time had changed. I'm a very much a relationship-driven guy, and community banking at one point was that, where it was truly a representation of the community in which it served. And then as the banks, post 2008, with the consolidation of larger banks acquiring smaller banks, it just became very clear to me that that community bank slash relationship feel was kind of, going to the wayside. So I stayed on a small community bank that I thought would never sell, had been around for over 120, 130 years. And I thought if it was going to sell, it would never do that before I ended my career. Well, they did. And so they were about a $500 million bank, and then folded into a $15 billion bank. And then I got a real crash course of what corporate banking was like. So I kind of got tired of that, because um, every time the dust seemed to settle, where we were able to kind of get our customers into this new normal, then they would change something else. And then I was back out trying to tell the customer, hey, everything will be fine. I'm your primary contact, regardless of what name is on the bank. I can handle this for you and get it all taken care of. So I just got sick of, trying to use my political capital to keep customers happy and keep them with us, to the point where I couldn't even leave my house without seeing customers in the community complaining about those things. So I left that bank and went to another bank, about a $20 billion bank, but they had already gone through the transition. But um, the grass wasn't green on the other side. So I was just kind of sick of banking altogether, and was thinking about just completely getting out of the financial industry altogether. And, through a few customers that I had, I was almost, this close to buying a bar restaurant. And as I talked to my customers who had been in that industry forever, they said, "What the hell are you thinking? If you like your family and and you enjoy those things, stay as far away from this as you possibly can."
Yeah.
So I was back into the process of trying to figure out what I wanted to do when I grew up, and said, "All right, well, you've spent all of your career in finance, you've developed relationships. And as you saw these banks getting bigger, sitting in in the loan committee meetings and things of that nature, and hearing what the complaints of the lenders were, basically it was that the bank, I mean, that the customers were truly numbers, right? And either you fit into the box or you didn't. So there were a ton of customers that were coming to the bank um, to get money and was leaving without it. And so I started thinking about that, and then I was talking to a franchise broker about what I wanted to do, and I saw a a an option on his franchise about this type of finance brokering. And I was like, well, let me, find a little bit more, find out a little bit more about that. And then basically make a long story short, I met a guy um, called Phil Duche, Global Finance Training, who was basically training people on the industry and how to enter into the industry. So I went out, to New York and spent a week out there with him and basically went through a crash course of everything there is about this industry and said, you know what? This seems like something that I'm not starting all over again. I got a bunch of customers that I know here in the community who are being turned away. I know a ton of bankers, who are turning these customers away. So why not try and, figure this whole thing out? At the same time, I had a college buddy of mine who we had always talked about starting a business together. Well, when I graduated from college, I went to investment banking slash operations for investment banking. And then I transitioned over to commercial banking, where he went into the world of equipment finance right out of college. So when I found out about this, I was like, okay, well, there might be some synergy here. So I, kind of walked him through the process. And he, I said, well, I spent X amount of money to kind of get this started. If you want to get in on this, just give me half of my money back and we're 50-50 partners in it. And his background was in trucking, so he had been helping clients for 20 years grow their trucking company business. And the company he worked for at that time only had a certain type of price point, right? So basically, as he grew these companies, they outgrew him from a pricing perspective. So basically, he was doing what the bankers were doing, saying, hey, I wish I could help you, but I know your pricing structure is not, I can't help you from a pricing perspective. So you can go out and get something better. So basically, he started introducing me to all of the customers that he had that he could no longer help because as a broker, I had more flexibility and more options available to me to help them. So we kind of got that off the ground, and it was actually the last week of February of 2020 is the day that I told the bank that I was done and started this full time. And then 2 weeks later, the world shuts down due to COVID. So, so I was like, oh shit, what have I done? And excuse me, but oh crap, what have I done here? And about August of 2020, obviously with COVID and then having the stimulus money into the economy and people at home buying just any and everything, they just didn't have enough trucks to keep up with the demand. So that industry just took off like a rocket, and it stayed that way for about till the fourth quarter of 2022, and that's when things kind of got a little shaky. So yeah, so that's how I got into the industry. It was, strictly, just truly just being exhausted with, the corporate structure and how banking was, transitioning. And I love what I do. I love that I'm actually able to feel the mission that the banks are not, and that's to be able to help everybody, even people who have, you know, I guess the good saying is bad things happen to good people. People, there are things that are outside of their control. It's not that they're bad people or bad business owners. They just happen to have gone through, a crappy cycle that impacted them negatively. So coming into this world of banking, brokering, I'm able to hear that story. I'm able to find lenders that kind of fit the the profile that the clients have, and get things done.
What you're talking about is the soul of the equipment finance industry, right? The lack of disillusionment with the fact that banks always have our backs or they're the go-to funding source. There was a time when that was the case, like you're
Right.
saying, back when small banks were your neighbor. But that stopped a long time ago. What hasn't happened is the education to other business owners saying, hey, when this happened in 2008, all these other things happened. And that's why you experience walking into the bank and thinking you have high hopes and then walking out and feeling like you don't know what just happened, but they're definitely not approving you. They don't have a product for you. And if they do have one, you're not quite sure what it is or who does know if they have one for you. And the lack of efficiency drives a lot of entrepreneurs, go-getters, people who care about the way that things happen, relationships, people who put those things in priority. It drives us out of that environment into this one where, like you said, we can create a business that does what we think is the most important thing, which is custom fit customers, listen to what they need, help them to project and do strategy
Right.
and sit down and get to know them. And I'm a big proponent, my obviously being in equipment finance like you, I'm a big proponent of understanding that you can borrow from your smaller companies that aren't banks and probably should because you are just a number in a lot of different circumstances, but not necessarily with people like yourself, with a lot of brokers or lending companies that are alternative lending sources. But just, the education needs to happen. People have been taught all their life to trust the bank, put their money up, do all this stuff. And then what they don't realize is that may not be the best strategy for them. So kudos to you for not sticking in there and just putting up with it and saying, you know what, I'm not going to put up with anything. I'm going to make this happen for me, for my customers, the people in the community that I live in. I know a lot of people in our industry, almost all of them feel the exact same way. So again, multiple high five.
There you go.
Very good. Well, good. So, okay, so you're a one-man shop. You got into this wanting there to be better. You're making things better and you're providing better opportunities. But how did you get involved with the AACFB? And you're a newly elected board member. How did
Yeah.
that happen?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because the training that I was, referring to actually Phil recommended that everyone that was going through the course join AACFB right away.
Mhm.
Well, obviously, I had spent money, but I didn't have money coming in, and I didn't know what I didn't know. So I just decided at that point that I was going to hold off on joining the AACFB. So I waited about a year before I did that. And then finally, I decided to, well, obviously we were making money at that time. So I figured that, hey, why not? I've been here. I mean, Phil recommended it and I trust Phil. So why not go ahead and jump, right in? And it was the best thing that could have ever happened because the resources that were available through the AACFB, whether it be the education component of it, because there were just a lot of things that I didn't know. And to be honest with you, I mean, my background was in treasury operations, so I was just really dealing with liquidity for the business owners. I never really dealt on the lending side. So to have those educational resources right away, I just kind of started pulling those up and looking at the videos and going through that. But the thing that I found even more rewarding was the discussion board. So it was just
Yeah.
refreshing to see that there were other brokers out there who were willing to um, give you information, and they didn't have their hands out. They were just paying it forward, right? Like, hey, I was where you are. And if it wasn't for other people at that time helping me, then maybe I wouldn't be here 20, 30, 40 years later to, kind of give you what the best practices are. So I found that refreshing and I found it genuine too, that people were actually willing to help you, you know, and not have their hand out saying, well, if I'm giving you this lead, what can you do for me? They were just like, hey, give this person a call or give that person a call or and just put things together like that. So once and had I done that a year prior, I mean, who knows? Maybe I wouldn't have had the same experience, because I had gone through the trials and the tribulations over that 1 year to, to kind of, you know, find my way through that whole process that I felt like that was the right timing for me to wait that 1 year to kind of get involved with it. So I made it a point to try and make it to at least one of the conferences per year. Always selected a city that I had never been to, so that was
For you.
always cool too. But yeah,
Highly recommend.
so so I just got to know, like with most, organizations like AACFB, after you go for a number of years, you start seeing the same faces and getting to know different people. And again, we're all in the same industry trying to make things happen, and developing those relationships with people that were just, and I'll just say, hey, this is some of the pain points that I'm having with my company, and they'll say, "Oh, well, hey, this vendor's over here, right here. Just go over there and talk to him." And based off of what you're telling me, I think they would be perfect for you. So that's how the relationship part of it started. And then when I was asked to join the board, I mean, I felt honored. Initially with the way that the economy is right now and how everything is just so up and down. It's like I don't know if I have the bandwidth right now to kind of accept it. But once I kind of thought about it for a little bit, talked it over with my wife, and looked at the pros and cons of it, I felt that it was, hey, I'm spending time trying to build a business. This organization is strong and solid, and they're good people, that are a part of it. So why not, seize the moment and appreciate the that someone actually asked me to be a part of something that is much larger than any one person.
Well, I'm sure that they saw exactly what I'm seeing in you, and I'm sure what a lot of the viewers are going to see when they watch this video to get to know you, which is that you're exactly the kind of person that needs to be on the board. You understand what it's like to work in an industry that's not ours, that's also supposedly about helping business owners and people through financing that maybe doesn't do a great job at that. You know what could be done differently, and you're executing it and teaching that and inspiring other people to be a part of that type of movement is exactly what we need to do. And that happens through being in a position with the AACFB and in the equipment finance industry where you can be a voice. So I'm glad that they saw that and asked you. I don't think you're lucky at all. I think that the AACFB is lucky to have you. And I think it's going to be a great fit. And I know everybody that's watching this will agree.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you bet. Okay, so now that we know all about your business stuff, and I know you're going on vacation tomorrow, and I don't want to hold you up too long, is tell me what you like to do, me and everybody that's going to be watching, what do you like to do when you're not working? Hobbies, just something that doesn't have to do with your passion for finance.
Well, it's kind of gone in a variety of different directions over the years. I mean, I played college basketball and a small college here in Chicago. And so that was my passion for a long time until my body just didn't cooperate anymore. So it was hard to give it up, but then I kind of dove headfirst into golf. And I still currently play golf, now. And then about 2 years ago, I got introduced to the world of pickleball. So
Woo!
so I'm a huge,
I
huge
love pickleball.
yeah, I'm a huge pickleballer, so to the point where when I travel now, instead of bringing golf clubs, I bring my pickleball stuff and I just go to, random places that I research online and meet new people in different states, different countries, right? From just that game just is I tell people now it's just a excellent way of networking. I mean, you're just meeting a ton of people, so that's what I do now in my, when I'm not, coaching my little guy in basketball and doing whatever the hell my wife tells me to do. So yeah, so I'm a family man. I have
Priorities.
yeah, I have I have four kids, a 27-year-old daughter who just got married last August. I
Oh,
have
congratulations.
yeah, thank you, a 23-year-old boy, a 19-year-old girl, and a 9-year-old boy.
Nice. So you have them spread out. You've gotten to experience all of the breadth of
Hmm.
children from this age to this age at different parts of your life. I
Hmm.
know I have a 28, a 21, and a 13-year-old myself.
Okay.
So, yeah, having them spread out, isn't that a unique situation you get to experience when it's like that?
Yes. Well,
Would
my
you
little
say?
guy is funny because now me having such a 10-year gap between my youngest and my two younger ones. I mean, it's like he has, multiple parents, running around here.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
Lucky for him, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Well, sometimes.
And lucky for you too. It's always good to have the tribe out there, be like in multiple eyes. I always say it takes a tribe to raise a child. And it just really, really does because you cannot keep your eyes open enough to watch you, your spouse. You can have your cousins, but
Right.
like the siblings of your youngest child, they know what's going on. They've been doing this stuff. So they know
Right.
exactly what to expect from their little brother or sister. So
Hmm.
they really keep an eye on
Yeah,
them.
and they tend to forget, that they were once that age too, and that we watched them. So it's funny to see how it all just kind of comes back full circle, right?
Isn't it? It's an evolution and it's really unique. I'm with you on that. So, well, that's super cool. And I too am experiencing that. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Here comes the moment of truth. We talked a little bit before we started recording about your time tomorrow. You're gonna head out for vacation, and I'm super excited for you guys. So I won't ask you something about that because we talked about it. I will ask you that what is one thing that nobody knows about you that they'll never know unless they watch this video? It's never going to be posted up on LinkedIn. It's a complete secret. What's one thing that we get to know no one else knows?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
maybe
not
your
too
wife
many.
knows.
Yeah, she knows.
Yeah.
So Um, like most college athletes, think that they're going to go and play, professional sports somewhere, whether it have been in the NBA or whether it was playing professionally overseas. But we started our family, very young, and so that opportunity that I thought I would have, I had to, you know, get to work and make some real money without any type of you know guesswork in terms of when the paycheck was going to come in. So it was probably maybe 7 or 8 years after that, and I still was playing basketball competitively, and I got asked to represent a team from Chicago and Mexico. So I had got a chance to take a little bit of time off of work at that time to do something that I never thought I would have had an opportunity to do. It wasn't going to be long term. It was just, hey, go over, represent this team. So it was, different teams from all over the country and from all over the world. And we had a chance to play and represent. So it was kind of like a nice closure to something that I would have liked to do,
You're still working hard.
professionally, but
Yeah.
didn't have an opportunity to do that. So yeah, so I got a chance to play a little semi-pro basketball, for a little bit to say I did that.
Amazing. That is amazing. And I wouldn't have wanted it any other way if it were me doing that. It's like, wow, travel, go play a game. And you felt like that was something that was very fulfilling for you, it sounds like.
Oh, it was. I mean, I never thought I would have would have had that opportunity. So yeah, for sure to have that fall in my lap the way that it did, it was perfect.
That's amazing. I'm a little jealous, but I'm also only 5'2". So, and I don't know how
Yeah.
to dribble or shoot a basketball at all. I do play pickleball though. How far
Yeah.
can you reach with I mean, is your reach really far with the pickleball? Because that's what always gets me is a person on the other side doesn't have to move as much as I do. I'm running
Yeah.
across, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. So I have long arms, so it
Ah,
definitely makes it a little easier, and and then having a little jumping ability too. But I mean, I, my wife always said when you go into something, especially athletically, you go into it all in, So I feel a lot better about myself when I'm done playing pickleball than I did when I played golf. So,
gotcha. I
so,
hear you.
so this is something that my athletic ability that I had in basketball is transitioned over into pickleball. So it makes it a lot, fun to be able to do some some things that I enjoyed doing when I was playing basketball. So, plus, it's an excellent workout and it's fun,
Yeah.
So, probably one thing that people don't know is that I've lost about 10 pounds playing pickleball.
Well, there you go.
So,
There's another one. You gave us two. You're gonna have to
so
start
there you
charging
go.
us for this stuff.
Yep, yep. And I'm still eating what I want to eat and drinking my beer.
Hey, there you
So,
go. And you deserve it too, man. The pickleball, it's like dash, 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 dash,
mhm,
dash,
yep,
nonstop. And it's
it's
very
fun.
fast-paced. Hand-eye coordination, just like with basketball, you're saying has to be on point. So I can see how that goes. I don't know if maybe I need to play more pickleball. I haven't lost a lot of weight with it, but I haven't been out to play in a while. I could be motivated at the next conference to bring my pickleball paddles. I have a couple. And then
Well,
maybe we can do a
yeah, you
game.
should. You
Yeah.
should because I'm bringing mine. Well,
Okay,
it
there you
was
go.
nice, Monica. Well, they set up a pickleball tournament at the in Arizona. So the last night, for the free night, we went and played pickleball for a couple of hours. Well, I talked to a lot of people, and my liver was kind of running on overdrive with the drinks and everything. I said, you know what? I'm
Okay.
just going to stick around here. So I ended up playing pickleball in Vegas for another 2.5 hours. So I'd stayed there until about 11 o'clock, and then I just Ubered back to the hotel. And but I met again a lot of great people, and it was just a cool place. So what I'm starting to do, which I just did this past weekend, I was in Chicago looking for a game because when I hang out with my family, everybody sleeps later and I'm usually up early. So I just went online like I do, tried to find a place and drove around Oak Park, which is right outside of Chicago. Couldn't find anybody that was playing and they had beautiful courts. So finally I decided just to go to the lakefront and see what was going on down there and ran into this place that had probably about 10 to 12 courts and just played on the lakefront for an hour. But I told my wife, I said, since I'm doing this, I said I should just start videoing, the court and talking about the people who
Yeah.
happen to be there. For people who are, that are in my pickleball circuit, just say, hey, if you're ever in Chicago, go and check out this place. I mean, the people are nice. It's a true open play where they'll allow you to play. So if you have time to do that, I would advise you to go and do it or stay away from this place because
Right.
the people suck. They're not nice.
Yeah. Or, hey, sometimes telling people where not to go is just as valuable as telling people
Mhm.
where to go, for sure.
Exactly.
It'd be cool if you could develop an app. It'd be like a pickleball app and be like, here's the courts, here's the stars.
Yeah, well, they have something, but it's just not that easy to use it. So I find the Facebook groups, or you just like when I was in Vegas, I just went on there, fake pickleball Vegas, and then you'll
Yeah.
start reading the comments to find out different places. So yeah,
That's amazing. I'm glad that there's things out there that I haven't gotten enough into it because I'm usually I'm not playing pickleball. I should be. I did try to take up golf, and by the way, I'm with you on that. Side note. But it's
it's
good
not
to
as
know that there's resources.
exactly, and pickleball is not as expensive as golf.
It's
Even though I
not.
thought I used to say, well, I'm only playing for a couple of hours, so I would tell my wife, well, if I was playing golf, I would be gone 3.5 to 5 hours.
At
But I'm playing
least.
pickleball at home too. But now I play for like 3.5, 4 hours. So, so
Yeah,
it's
there's no green fees for pickleball. You know what I'm saying?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, I'm with you. Well, I appreciate you so much. I don't want to keep you too long because I know you're prepping for your vacation. I hope y'all have a great time tomorrow.
Yep, thank
Um,
you.
yeah, absolutely. Is there anything that you want to add before we conclude that you would say is the message you want to send anyone that I didn't cover?
Yeah, I would say that if you're on the fence about joining AACFB, don't be on the fence. Just
Get off of
you
it.
know,
Yeah.
go right in. Just dive in head first because it's a good experience and with great people. So,
I agree with you. Great message. Well, thank you so much, Ishmael. I
okay,
appreciate you. I can't wait to play some pickleball with you at the next conference and have so much fun tomorrow.
great. Thank you.
You bet. Bye bye.
Bye.